History is not just a collection of old pages. It is a mirror reflecting our present world. Are we repeating the mistakes of Nineveh today? Beneath the shifting sands of time lie the remnants of a power that once thought itself eternal, yet left behind only silence and broken stone. The shadows of the past stretch far into our modern cities, reminding us that every great civilization faces a moment of moral and spiritual crisis. In our quest for progress and endless comfort, we often drown out the quiet voice of conscience that once guided the hearts of our ancient ancestors. Are we building a future on a foundation of indifference? The warning from the ruins of Nineveh is louder now than it has ever been. Losing our sense of mercy and justice is the first step toward the collapse of the soul. Let us look back to see where we stand. Nineveh was once the heart of the world's most brutal empire, a city of gold and blood that commanded the destiny of all neighboring nations. Its walls were so thick that chariots could race upon them, a fortress built to withstand any enemy, yet vulnerable to the rot from within. Like the builders of Babel, the people of Nineveh reached for the heavens, driven by a pride that recognized no law but their own absolute power. While the elite feasted in halls of cedar and gold, the scent of excess filled the air, masking the stench of a dying moral compass. This was a civilization built on the backs of the broken. Its prosperity was a thin veil covering a culture of extreme cruelty and systemic oppression. The cries of the innocent reached the heavens, demanding an answer. When morality hits rock bottom, the foundations of the greatest empires begin to crumble. A storm was coming, not of rain and wind, but of divine judgment. The time for Nineveh to face its reflection had finally arrived at last. Jonah received a command he could not accept. Instead of heading to Nineveh, he turned his back and fled toward the edge of the world. He sought the furthest horizon, believing that he could outrun the call of his destiny. But the sea holds no secrets from the eyes of God. Suddenly, the heavens opened with fury. A supernatural gale gripped the vessel, and the sea turned into a chaotic battlefield of wind and crashing water. The ship groaned under the weight of the waves. Every man cried out to his God, while Jonah slept in the darkness of the hold. Desperation took hold of the crew. They cast lots to find the cause of the disaster, and the finger of fate pointed directly at the runaway. Jonah remembered the peace of his homeland, the calling he had betrayed, and the heavy price of running away from the light of the truth. I am the reason for this storm, he admitted. To save the innocent, Jonah accepted his fate and prepared to face the depths of the ocean. As his body hit the water, the storm vanished instantly. A heavy silence fell over the sea, but Jonah's journey was only beginning its darkest chapter. Out of the darkness, a leviathan appeared, not as a predator but as a vessel of mercy, sent to carry a prophet through the abyss. Into the depths he went, where the foundations of the mountains reside. Jonah had reached the end of himself and the beginning of his transformation. For 3 days and 3 nights, the belly of the fish became a temple, a place of absolute isolation and deep, soul-searching contemplation for Jonah. In the silence of the deep, the prophet's pride finally broke. His prayer rose from the darkness, a plea for grace amidst the scent of salt. The boundaries of time and space dissolved. Jonah realized that even in the lowest pit, he was never truly alone or beyond the reach of mercy. Repentance is not just regret, it is a turning of the heart. Jonah surrendered his will to the one who commands both the wind and waves. The great fish obeyed. It carried its passenger toward a new beginning, moving with purpose toward the shore, where a broken man would be reborn. With a final surge, Jonah was cast back into the world of light. The earth received him once more, a man who had conquered death. He lay on the shore, breathing in the air of the living. The seaweed wrapped around his head was a crown of his recent ordeal. The warmth of the sun felt like a second creation. Jonah was no longer a fugitive. He was a messenger with a fire in his soul. His vision was clear now. The path led to Nineveh, and this time he would not falter. The prophet had been seasoned by the salt of sea. From the depths of the ocean to the gates of the world's most feared city, Jonah began the long walk toward his destiny and Nineveh's hope. One man against an empire. Armed with nothing but a message of warning, Jonah approached the walls that had once made his heart tremble with fear. He entered the city of blood, a ghost from the sea. His voice began to echo through the markets and the squares, carrying a heavy truth. 40 days, and Nineveh shall be overthrown. The words cut through the noise of the city like a sword, striking the hearts of the people. The atmosphere changed. A strange, holy fear gripped the inhabitants. From the lowest servant to the highest noble, the message could no longer be ignored. Even the throne was shaken. The king, whose word was law over millions, recognized a higher authority and stripped himself of all his royal pride. He sat in the dust, a monarch turned mourner. The decree went out, let every man turn from his evil way and the violence in his hands. The entire city became a sanctuary of sorrow. A nation known for its cruelty was now united in a desperate plea for a chance to change. Even the animals shared in the fast, a total commitment to seeking mercy. Never before had history seen such a radical and sudden spiritual transformation. The judgment was stayed. As the hearts of the people opened, the heavens responded. The shadow of destruction began to lift from the golden city. Nineveh was reborn from the ashes of its own pride. In the presence of true repentance, the path to life is always open for those who seek. But the prophet struggled with the very mercy he had received. He sat on the hill waiting for a fire that would never come to pass. God provided a plant to ease his discomfort, a simple lesson in compassion. Jonah was happy for the shade, yet his heart remained hard toward others. By dawn, the comfort was gone. The plant withered as quickly as it had grown, leaving Jonah to face the scorching wind and his own anger. "You pity a plant you did not grow," God whispered. "Should I not pity a great city of people who do not know their left hand from their right?" The first lesson is the danger of prosperity without gratitude. When we forget the source of our blessings, we lose the foundation of our very future. The second lesson comes from Lot, the danger of gradual compromise. Small steps toward evil eventually lead to a place where our souls are held captive. Third, we see the power of intercession. Like Abraham, our prayers for others can move the heavens and change the fate of entire nations and communities. Finally, the warning of Lot's wife. The cost of looking back. We cannot move toward a new life if we are still clinging to a sinful past. These 4 lessons converge into one truth. Your choices today define your destiny tomorrow. Nineveh chose life, and so can you, starting this very moment. Join us for more lessons from the past. Subscribe and share your thoughts below. Which story should we explore next? Thank you for walking with us.